Hello friends, welcome to Daily Sourdough. Today we are going to make sourdough stuffed French toast, a recipe out of my cookbook. This is my family's traditional Christmas morning breakfast, and I think you're really going to like it too. We're going to use some kind of stale bread, and it's a great way to use up some of your leftover breads. So begin by buttering a 9 by 13 pan. Then cut your bread into small cubes, a little bit bigger than like a dice or something like that, just in a nice cube. This recipe is so wonderful if you have a lot of company coming and you don't want to stand at the kitchen stove to make them breakfast. This is an overnight recipe that you have all prepared the night before, and it's ready to put in the oven the next morning. It's beautiful and it's delicious, and it's really nice to share with company. And as you can tell, this bread is kind of stiff and a little bit hard because it's been in the freezer for a few months. I found it in there and thought it would make a perfect stuffed French toast. And since it's going to be soaking all night long, you can use the crusty parts of your bread and it will just soak up the egg batter and be delicious. Then you're going to put half of the bread in the bottom of your pan. And of course, if you don't have some leftover bread hanging around, then a fresh loaf of bread would be excellent. But if you are using crusty bread, then put the stiffest pieces in the bottom of the pan so that they can soak up your egg mixture the most thoroughly. So I'll use both ends in the bottom of the pan. For the cream cheese filling, use 16 ounces of softened cream cheese, and this has been sitting out all day, so it's nice and soft, room temperature. It mixes up a lot better that way. One cup of powdered sugar, a quarter cup of milk, and then a heavy dose of vanilla, probably about 3 teaspoons. Then using a hand mixer, mix this up until it's nice and fluffy. Now just take spoonfuls and drop them kind of randomly across your breadcrumbs. Now take spoonfuls of your sweet cream cheese mixture and just drop them randomly on your bread cubes. And don't spread them out, just drop them so there's little pockets of cream cheese. It's going to fill up almost all the empty spaces though. There's quite a bit of it. And sprinkle the berries across the cream cheese. And you only want to add half of the berries now because you'll want to add some fresh berries on top at the very end. And now just kind of press all that down so that the berries are tucked into that cream cheese. And this will also make room for your egg mixture. Next, whip up 10 eggs. Then to that add 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of cream, a 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now top that with your remaining bread cubes. Kind of press that all down because you still have the egg mixture to pour on top. Then as evenly as you can, pour your egg mixture over the bread and saturate all those bread cubes. And then once again, press it all down together and really get those top bread cubes down into the milk and the eggs. Then cover this with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And then in the morning, it's ready to bake. And if you're baking it in a glass pan like this, be sure to take it out of the refrigerator 30 minutes to an hour beforehand and let the glass warm up to room temperature before putting it in a hot oven. So be sure and do that or your glass pan will break and all will be lost. So don't want that to happen, but if it's in a metal pan, you don't need to worry about that, just a glass pan. And now it's going to be ready and waiting for you in the morning to just pop in the oven and feed to your company. I took my pan out of the refrigerator this morning and set it on the stove while I was preheating my oven to 350 degrees. And because it's glass, I wanted it to come to room temperature before I put it in a hot oven. Then I baked it at 350 for 45 minutes until it tested done. And now it is ready to eat. Oh, and if it seems like it's getting a little too crusty on top, then just put a layer of foil over the top. Just rest it on top of there. Don't seal it up. Just to keep it from browning on the top. And it did perfectly. It's still soft to the touch. And now to serve it, just cut it into pieces. And then scoop it out of there. And as you can see, it is just so pretty. It has so many colors. And if you want, you can drizzle a little maple syrup over the top, or buttermilk syrup is really good. If you check my recipe for my video for the pancakes with buttermilk syrup, that tastes really good on this as well. Or you can eat it plain. Full of beautiful colors and flavor, fun to serve to company. Be sure and try it. You'll find this recipe in my new cookbook, plus many other delicious recipes for your family. And be sure to stay tuned to Daily Sourdough. I have lots of recipes to share with you on how to use your sourdough starter on a daily basis.